Welcome to the French Drain Man channel. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood. This video is going to be a great one. We're going to talk about tree roots. How do you build a drainage system to keep out the tree roots? Because we have over 400 feet of French drain weaving through a stand of trees, I thought this would be a great job to take you on and explain to you how we build a French drain system, a yard drain system that keeps out the tree roots. Throughout this video, we are going to give dozens of tips on how to build a French drain that lasts forever. We're going to give you all the details that really matter so that you can keep out the tree roots. And you also want to prevent iron ochre, red algae, iron oak, however you want to pronounce it and whatever you want to call it. We're going to also show you how we prevent that from growing in our drainage system. Right at the start, during the dig, you want to make sure your trench bottom is super flat. If you have a wavy trench bottom, you're going to have big ponding puddles in the bottom of your drainage system. This is going to promote root growth. Trees can sniff out water left behind after the bulk water has been removed during a big rain event, and the trees are going to find those areas that you left low, those trench areas, where you have a little bit of collection of water that sits during the drought season. The trees, they will sniff that out. They'll find that. The other thing is when you put your fabric in, work as a team with a partner or family member. Make sure that you get the fabric nice and tight. You don't want it all bunched up. And use a really large aggregate. Look at all the dark shadows in between this 1.5 inch cobble rock. That's void. Void moves air. Trees cannot live, their root system cannot live in stone that has big void. So that's a great place to start. And always put 2 pipes on the bottom. The pipes themselves create a giant void. And make sure to always use a pipe that has the perforations 360 degrees. If you have a pipe that only has perforations on the bottom, if you only have holes on the bottom, you're going to get what is known as the greenhouse effect. You're going to grow roots in that pipe. It builds up condensation in the top of the inside of the pipe. Envision a PVC pipe with holes on the bottom. Now envision the moisture that's caught up in that pipe. If you have perforations 360 degrees all the way around on your pipe, you have this really great circulation of air. You're not going to get the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect makes tree roots, shrub roots, grass roots thrive. But if it's a well-circulated drainage system, they're going to air prune during the drought season. That's a guarantee, 100%. If you have good circulation throughout your drainage system, those roots that tried to penetrate during the wet season are just going to dry up and fall off. If you have a giant void running through your French drain system and you're not creating the greenhouse effect, which is holes on the bottom, you have this great circulation, so there's not all this moisture buildup in the top of your drain pipe, you're not going to get the root from the trees. Now, the Royal Blue 8 slot has more inlet than any other pipe in the world. There was never a yard drain pipe ever made. There was always just agriculture pipe. So we had to use something, whatever best fit in that void at the time. Well, once we were able to get Boffman Tile Company to make the high octane Royal Blue 8 slot, it has 17.25 square inches of inlet per linear foot. There's more circulation, there's more air. This pipe is the reason we can build drains that last forever. Along with the fabric prevents migration of the subsoil in the voids of the stone. If you plug all your voids in your stone with the dirt from the subsoil, you're not going to get the water to the pipe. You want to have a good filter fabric. And while you're doing your French drain, use that trench to also drop in a 3rd pipe and put your downspouts in there. Now, the French Drain Man's high-octane 8-slot Royal Blue, manufactured by the Boffman Tile Company, comes in 100-foot rolls. You have less liability when you don't have all these couplers connecting your drainage system together. Unlike PVC, where you have to use a coupler every 10 feet minimum, and every time there's a little turn or a little jog, you have to put a 22.5 degree, a 45 degree, or a 60 degree to keep making those bends through the yard. High Octane, Royal Blue, 8-slot, super easy to weave this through your system. Now, the reason this pipe is blue and not black is because there's no recycled materials in this pipe. This pipe is 100% all virgin material, HDPE, no recycled materials, making this pipe much stronger than any other corrugated pipe on the market. The flexibility of this pipe is truly one of its strengths. We have a freeze and thaw cycle here in the north. The ground is going up and down throughout the freeze and thaws. All that movement typically will separate any PVC pipe that's built in the frost. Our drainage systems are shallow. They're not going to be deep, so they're always going to be in the frost. Corrugated pipe gives us that strength that we need. When you branch off your main, you only have to connect one of the pipes. Water seeks a level. However high it's in one pipe, it's going to be that high in the other. Now let me explain some additional benefits. The advantages to having holes 360 degrees all the way around the pipe is you can take water in from 360 degrees. You can fill this area, this giant void that this pipe creates. You can lay this on the bottom of the trench. I don't have to worry about the bottom holes or bottom inlets getting compromised because I have 8 total inlets going all around the pipe, making this pipe superior to pipes with just holes on the bottom. I can't stress that enough. So let's go over all the details one last time. You want to have a bottom on your trench that's flat. You don't want to have a bunch of divots. When you dig it out, make sure you dig it out nice and flat and don't leave it all wavy. You don't want to leave water behind. The trees will sniff that out. And make sure you use a really good drainage fabric. That's double punched. You want a high flow rate. And make sure you pull it nice and tight so it's not all bunched up. That way it'll work really well for you. Definitely use a perforated pipe with holes 360 degrees all the way around. You don't want your system to build the greenhouse effect where it just lets tree roots thrive. A good perforated pipe with big inlets will allow air to circulate. When air circulates through your drainage system, you don't get bacteria and fungus buildup inside your drainage system. And you also air prune any tree root or shrub roots that try to penetrate your system. Use a large rock. That way you have big voids. If a tree root tries to grow in the stone, it'll just get air pruned off. Unlike pea stone and really small stone where it stays moist and damp and the tree roots thrive. Keep a lot of void. If you found any of this helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports our channel. If you have any additional questions, leave them in the comments section. I'm Robert Sherwood, your host, and until that next video,